going to be playing more Dark Souls as usual. We're just gonna keep plugging away until we finish this game. For now, we're gonna be heading back into the Asylum. Last time we were here, we finished the Lost Izalith and the Bed of Chaos. So we're through with the Demon Ruins and all that fire and lava stuff. So we're gonna go see our friend the Crow up here. And head over to the Asylum first, and then we're gonna head down into the Catacombs. As promised, while you guys were away, I went ahead and farmed up some materials, got myself set up for pretty much everything else from this point forward. I do still need a few Titanite slabs. Those just proved a little too tricky to find with the time I was giving myself. I know that there's a few. There's one we can find here at the Asylum. But for now, we're just going to have to proceed without. So I've got a bunch of level 14 stuff, but nothing is 15 just yet. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and share this over. Go ahead and get this set up while we're waiting. Bear with me just one moment, everybody. I am going to get the ball rolling any minute now. Okay, and one more. Alright, let's go ahead and proceed. And, so for first of all, we're going to return to fight the Asylum Demon. He is back with a vengeance. We're going to rest at the bonfire first, just to make sure that if, or perhaps when, he creams me, it's not so much of an issue. Alright. He's not super hard. He's not much harder than he was before. In fact, he's a little easier than his second iteration down in the Demon Ruins, so shouldn't be too bad. Just gotta watch out for that glowing red explosive thing he does. But otherwise, it's pretty safe. So we just trigger the fight here. And let him start swinging away at us. And there's that explosive attack. It's pretty well telegraphed. Usually you can get away from it. This one too. Most of his attacks just take way too long to execute for him to actually hit you if you're careful. Once it can cause real damage anyway. Oh. Of course, that's assuming you don't try to anticipate the move and rush back in too late, too early rather. Oh boy. Of course, there is a disclaimer with every one of my videos that this is all assuming that you're good at the game, you know. Which I can be. I can be, you know, provided I know what's going to happen before it happens. No worries, we'll just start it back up again. It really only takes one wrong move a lot of the time to sort of mess you up for good for that fight. Then you spend your whole time trying to heal again and like that. Sure what's what that time around. And that's how you get a Titanite slab. So that'll be enough to upgrade at least one of my fancy toys. Now there's not much else to find here in the Undead Asylum. There are a few things. I came back previously for the Rusted Iron Ring. So that's no longer here. There is an item you need to get into the Painted World of Aramis down in your cell, as well as a few Black Knights have moved in. Now, of course, I took out the one that was in the way of getting to the ring, but I left the others for you fine people to see. So the Peculiar Doll is required to get into the Painted World of Aramis, which also ends up being the best, or at least one of the best, soul grinding places. Oh. It's dropping into the water. Alright, move back on up. And it's worth looking around if for no other reason than to get those Dark Knights. You never know what they're gonna drop. They all have a pretty good chance of dropping something. So I do believe that I've explored as far back as that hallway behind me. So I actually might be clear. I think I've killed both of the Black Knights. If there was a third one, I don't rightly recall. The Black Knight, not the Black Knight, the Knight of Astorius, or whatever his name is, the gentleman who's back here who gives you the Estus Flask in the first place, he'll be alive when you come back too. You will have to kill him. It's how you get the Crest Shield. The Crest Shield has some of the best magic defense in the game. It's a really solid shield. Some people absolutely swear by it. Personally, I prefer a mix between the Grass Shield and the Silver Shield. I think that about covers it for the Asylum. Yeah, and so down that way is just where you get the Rusted Iron Ring. So go ahead and hop down here. Now, I do recommend trading some things with Snuggly. I made the mistake of... Ooh, that's unfortunate. I made the mistake of not coming back in time, but you can get some early Titanite chunks from her. Which can really help with your mid-game grind. But I will go over how to sort of go around that and find a reliable source of them. Perhaps later on in this video or early into the next video, whenever we go back to the New Londo ruins. forgive me if my response times are just a little bit out of whack. I have a cat here who is desperate for my attention. I am trying my damnedest not to give in, but cats. Alright, cat. Alright. And so with that Titanite slab, I can finally go ahead and switch that out. On that. You need to put that all the way up. That's what I meant to do. I meant to get some demon Titanite while I was at the Asylum. I know you can get 2 from Snugly. I'll have to follow up on that on the way back. Alright, so now we're ready to head back into the Catacombs. And in my opinion, that freshly upgraded sword I just did was is not going to be at all helpful down here. There are some enemies that it'll be useful on, but you're going to want a blessed weapon. And that's the reason I like the Silver Spear the most. Even though it doesn't really say it, it is a blessed weapon. You don't need to bless it or spend any points on it. I'm getting all turned around. It just has an inherent blessing, and it's got really good stats to begin with. And if that wasn't enough for you, it only costs a few Twinkling Titanite to get it to its max level of 5. So you don't have to do any of that tedious grinding to really get it up there. You know, just multiple reasons, really, that it's considered a good weapon. And spears, you know, you either love them or hate them. Some people think they're kind of cheap, and they're right, but in a game like this, everything's kind of cheap when it's being used against you, so, you know, why should the bad guys be the only ones? Anyway, a blessed weapon is especially helpful from here on out, because, these enemies are capable of reconstructing themselves, and, so, I mean, what that means is that, you could end up, you know, getting got from behind, or attacked, you know, sort of endlessly by enemies that you've already defeated, and a blessed weapon prevents that from happening. When they're dead, they'll stay dead. And who doesn't love enemies that stay dead? Of course, they will respawn if you sleep at a bonfire, just like any other, but this does sort of mitigate that. Now, I'm also going to run the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. And the reason for that is because coming up there's going to be some necromancers. When you kill them, they have a chance of dropping the lantern, the skull lantern. Now you can get a skull lantern at a fixed location, but it is worth getting 2 because one of them will be tradable with Snugly. And there's basically a few methods of going forward with these types of weapons, or not rather with weapons, but with the caves coming up. There are basically 3 ways of going about it. You could get the light spell. You could carry one of those lanterns and it'll light you up, or you can use the sunlight maggot that I was talking about earlier. I prefer the third method because this is Fashion Souls after all. And the only thing that really matters is that your clothing is suitable to your needs. It does not actually matter that much what the stats are. It helps a little bit, especially with the status-inducing effects, but for the most part, go with what you like best. So, for in this cave, regardless of what you like best, I think you should swap it out with this. It'll keep your left hand free, you know, for a shield or a spell or whatever you need. Doesn't cost anything to use, unlike the light spell, and you can kind of go some long periods without a bonfire down here. So it helps to kind of get around that. Scimitars and falchions. No luck right off the bat. That's alright, we've got plenty of cave between here and the bottom. Let's go ahead and repair all of our stuff while we're at it. Most things won't break in the time it takes you to get through, you know, any number of dungeons, but mainly thinking about that Iaito sword. It does have a tendency to sneak up on you. Just some generic shields. Nothing too special. Most of the good stuff is further in or guarded by the few and far between necromancers. Ah, I suck. Mine with spears, unlike halberds or swords, you can totally go turtle club and keep your shield up the entire time while you just jab away at them. And if your spear is fully upgraded, like mine is, and your dexterity is maxed out, like mine is, then you're in the best possible position of all. You can kill these skeletons in 2 hits. And you've never even been in danger. Of course, there are limitations. Stamina, namely. Your stamina doesn't recharge when you're shielded, so make sure to put it down once in a while. Why, yes, I am patient enough to wait for you to get back up. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, gotta watch out for those booby traps. Good thing I totally remembered that and didn't just get lucky. Part where we kind of get to the point where we're not starved for choice on which way to go forward. There are, of course, right ways and wrong ways, but you're just gonna want to check every corner because there is some pretty good stuff down here. I know that there's a blacksmith that's very missable, and I know because I missed him in my last playthrough. I've heard about this glitch happening. It's the first time I've ever been lucky enough to have it happen to me. Where sometimes they actually manage to regenerate themselves. Usually because they're hit by the blast from that thing, I think. But sure they're actually staying dead back there. Yep. All good. Alright. Oh, nope, I didn't mean to do that. Rotates this bridge back here for us to be able to cross safely. Oh boy, that's what I was talking about. You gotta watch that stamina. And there we go. We got ourselves a skull lantern. So now we will safely have two when we go down and meet the Snuggly the Crow again. Which, if I'm not mistaken, gives you the old witch's ring. I have to double check that. But, of course I will find out soon enough, won't I? Alright. Okay, I believe that this is the path I was talking about. That leads to the blacksmith. I've never met the blacksmith. I can't be 100% certain. But I am going to find out. Even if it means losing, you know, some souls in the process, because this is quite a fall. But tally ho! Okay. Alright. So far so good. I'm not sure what waits at the bottom though. Okay. Big boy, ain't ya?
Be gone with you. You'll spoil my focus.
Was anybody else just anticipating a mini-boss? I kinda was. But I imagine that this is the blacksmith. So I'm not sure if this becomes a warp point, or whatever the case is. We will certainly find out, won't we? But here is the blacksmith.
Why? Is that an ember from New Londo? And a fine ember it be. What do you say? Why not leave it with me? I'll give you a flame to feast your eyes upon.
This character's somewhat interesting.
Yes, very well. We'll get these old bones to work.
I'm not sure if he's intentionally designed to sound that way, or if it's just some weird coding. Most of the characters sound pretty good compared. But, okay. He'll give you fire weapons, so that's his dealio. Titanite shards. I don't think that's the best price I've seen. But, okay.
I'm here to smith, not to chit-chat.
Wow, his
Well, what was that about? Don't be coming around here without a good reason.
voice is something else. Alright. I believe that, yeah, that was also a massive shortcut, so I might go back and, oh boy. Ah, that is just unfortunate. Yeah, I'm gonna warp back up. And, can I get back down here any other way? Nope, I've got to go all the way back to Firelink. No worries. I wasn't too far down. But there's some stuff I want to see and some loot I want to find. And if I remember correctly, that particular corner of that dungeon is pretty low in. So now we're back up at the top. Pay you $100 to buzz off. That's unfortunate. Probably nothing worth getting bent up out of shape about, but never like to leave any loot. I do believe these guys do bleed damage. Something to watch out for. Yet another reason to love spears. Who doesn't love poking things from a distance? Fallen to pieces over me. I don't know what the deal is there. That old Weird Al Yankovic song. Girl, I don't fall to pieces. Ah, yeah, he says, girl, now don't fall to pieces on me. She cried her eyes out, literally, at the party at the leper colony. I don't actually know if that was Weird Al Yankovic. I just remember the snappy lyrics. Okay. And we have found our way down again. And of course that is the Pit of Despair, taking us to the blacksmith. So we'll go back up a little ways. Try to remember exactly where we're supposed to go. You know what? I think when I did this section last time, I actually came in here and had myself a nice little fall. Oof! Gotta watch those things. Okay, got us some twinkling titanite. Now, ladies, play nice. Alright, and yet another pitfall here. Of course, I think I actually ended up going the wrong way. Recognize this particular path from earlier. Okay. That's all the way back this way. So let's try this again. This time we will take the right hand. Nope. Nothing doing. Oh. Was it perhaps here that I deviated? No. Huh. Okay. Well, we'll just keep exploring. I'm sure I'll find my way. Let's see. Way over here. Is this perhaps the right way? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Can't hurt to check, can it? Oh no, it can. I wasted time. Okay. So let's head back around. I'm lost. Mommy and Daddy left me. They said I was ugly. And then the nice store clerk said I was ugly too. Not really sure why they felt the need to weigh in, but... oh well. Okay. Let's try down here. Aha! So maybe this is the way. Aha! That'll take that bridge down there. Alright. Ready to proceed. Let's see, this is probably the path that I meant to take and got lost looking for. Ah, okay. I see where I went wrong. Okay. Totally forgot about this path. Okay, I do believe that last time I went down there, perhaps a little hasty. There is... maybe not. Of course, you can deal with those bone archers with arrows, but unless your weapon is blessed, they will get back up. Just jab this guy. He's no big deal. His entrance is much grander than his actual abilities suggest that he's worth. What kind of noise is that to make? Bleh. Who asked you? Ah, gotta keep that shield up. Ah, okay. Get a miracle coming up this way. Alright, and I do believe that we're back where we started. We certainly are. Alright. This passageway, man. These catacombs. They are appropriately named. They are catacombs. The name Catacombs elicits thoughts of a maze, at least for me. And, yeah, it certainly delivers on that, too. Okay, well, that strikes me as a gap I could leap across. But I'd rather not. Let that be a lesson to you on the dangers of rolling everywhere you go. It can be an effective strategy, but you gotta watch those edges. Alright. Investigate down this way first. Ah, hello. What you doing? Let's go ahead and equip the Demon Spear, because these guys seem to be a little weak to, thunder, actually. Maybe I'm not doing enough damage here. Oh, he is gonna come and pwn my ass. That I did with Ito. There it is. Alright. Yeah, no, okay. If he is weak to lightning, it was not very obvious. With my attempt there. This will, of course, allow me to upgrade that Demon Spear. Alright. Things got a little hairy there, but we're none the worse for wear. Let's go see what our proverbial dragon was hoarding. Ah, just an Eye of Death. That was totally worth the investment. Alright. You'll have to excuse me. This weather does a number on my energy. Oh boy. That's just not. What on earth? Now that's just rude. Woof. Okay. Alright. I don't know how that worked, but let's take the normal way down, shall we? Rude. Alright. Now I do believe that we're back. We've come full circle and arrived at roughly where the blacksmith let us out. I can get back up in there, and it looks like I might want to. Just that I can... I don't want to watch these guys, because they can regenerate just like their skeleton counterparts. There was another one, was there not? We may never know. So let's climb back up there. Let's see what happens if we fall down. Hopefully nothing too bad, considering how far we've come. Oof. Okay, yeah, that's pretty bad. can't handle. Another Black Knight shield. Well, look at that. Somewhere out there, Sure Shots is raging at me. I do get pretty lucky. Alright, and then that's, of course, where the blacksmith let us out. Try to maintain both of these guys. They're not so bad if you can keep your shield in front of them. But good lord if you let them past. They will make you pay for it. That we're coming up on the first boss fight of the Catacombs. He's quite a pushover as long as you have a decent spear, or a decent blessed weapon, rather. So you are going to want to watch for who's in charge when you go for the killing blow, as it were. Like that, pinwheel is defeated. You know, I'm not actually sure how you determine which one is which, but I prefer the Mask of the Child anyway, because that one gives you extra stamina regen. But I know that the others can give some somewhat useful effects too. Now, if you'll forgive me for one moment, I do believe that was my wife. Okay, it was. Pressing on. Okay. Now we have the Rite of Kindling, which allows you to kindle the bonfire extra times. So now instead of 10 masked flasks, you can get up to 20. I generally don't need 20. There are some occasions. 10 is usually pretty good number. But it doesn't hurt to have that option, especially coming from Firelink Shrine. You know, sort of get out ahead of that. Anytime you go on a long trip. Okay. Now, is there a way up there? Maybe there is. If there is, it's on top of this giant sarcophagus. That'd be my bet. Alright, and now we're actually going into the Tomb of the Giants, so this area is not actually part of the Catacombs. Just an extension of it, as it were. Alright, let me adjust myself and get comfortable real quick. Let's see if I have any humanities. Let's use one just to restore some health in case. Give myself a little extra time to get to that next bonfire. I don't believe it's too much further ahead, but you never know. And of course we're going to run into Patches the Hyena, whose name is somewhat deceptive. He is not a hyena. I guess he thinks he's pretty funny, though. Maybe that's why he calls himself Patches. Or a hyena, rather. Okay. Slide on in. Ah, excellent. So now we don't need to kill Shiva of the East, because we just got his special weapon. Murakamo, or however you pronounce that. Oof, things are getting dicey down here. Try to get us down to, oh, there's Patches, which means that the bonfire is, of course, right down here. Oof. Alright. Let's go ahead and throw another point into endurance, because more stamina is best stamina. Okay. And let's just stay out ahead of all this. Let's reverse hollowing. This probably isn't strictly necessary to kindle this bonfire, but enemies can be a little harrowing down here. So it's best to just give yourself some slack. It's not like I'm starved for humanity anyway, right? Now we'll check back up this way. So I do believe that I saw some treasure to be found. As you can see, you kind of want to be quick with these guys, because if you let them bunch up on you too much, they'll smack you down like that. Also helps to take them on one at a time, as with most enemies. There is a room coming up I remember being quite intimidated by. Where you actually run into 4 or so, maybe even more. And they're all just sort of waiting for you. Alright, and I do believe this actually takes you back all the way up to the boss fight area. So, not strictly necessary to make your way through that. Again, I do believe this is the area I was talking about. Could be wrong, but you're going to want to be pretty careful. Yep. Nope. Okay. No, this is not it. This is just one. it was down here. I'm gonna keep saying... Excuse me. Oh, excuse me so much. I'm gonna keep saying maybe it's this next area, and then, of course, it's gonna be the time that I don't say it. And that's gonna be the one. But oh no, this is the one. Okay, so... As I've stated before, these guys are only really susceptible to blessed weapons. And of course I didn't get my timing quite right. Hopefully I wasn't down there long enough for the souls to drop down there too. If they did, this could be hairy. And they did. Naturally. Boy, this is gonna be fun. Perhaps the answer is staring me right in the face. That's unfortunate. Okay, right idea, wrong execution. Alright. That's enough sweat for one evening, I think. Not to say that I'm done. I will be continuing, but Fortunately, without having to drop back into this hellish pit once again. Okay. Proceed back up. And go back to the bonfire. Spend some of these souls, so at least that's one less thing I'm worried about. Alright, and here's where we talk to the ever-nefarious Patches the Hyena. Or the Bone Doggos. Now, of course, Patches is a dirty cheat. But it is advisable still to go along
Good
with
day.
this little scheme.
You look reasonably sane. What are you doing in the catacombs? Are you a cleric or something?
I
No?
want to answer no,
Really?
regardless.
Then I'd have no qualms telling you. There's a fine stash of treasure right down that hole. I found it first. But, well, we're friends now. So I'll split it with you. In any case, have a look. It'll shimmer you blind.
I mean, if that laugh wasn't enough to just tell you that he's up to no good.
This is what I do, my friend. The trinkets I'll be stripping off your corpse, that's the real treasure.
It's one hell of an evil laugh he's got there, isn't it? And of course, that's how you get the Sun Lantern the official way. It's down in this little pit. And of course now, I think we get to see what happened to the snobbish trio who rejected our assistance. And who left their buddy behind.
You banished those two hollows, did you? It pains me to think of the trouble my failings have caused. I am certain that both Vince and Nico are grateful to you. Thank you so very much. Here, these belonged to them. You deserve them more than I.
She says these, but she only gives you one item. Alright. Take a quick look around. Oh, I could have made my life a little easier. Or at least changed it. Bone spindles. We are closing in on Gravelord Nito, the next big bad boss. We have killed Seath the Scaleless. We put off killing the four kings. we have killed the Bed of Chaos. So, with Gravelord Nito and the Four Kings, we could actually go and fight the final boss. But we'll take a pit stop and do some of the side content. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the DLCs just yet. Only because this is now the second time I've played through all this content, and I'm pretty tempted to move on to Dark Souls 2 or something else. We will see in the coming days how I feel about proceeding. Okay, I don't really see the need to rest. Didn't lose very much.
Oh, you! Well, let's just calm down. Talk about things. I did you wrong, but I didn't mean it. These temptations, they can, well, overcome me. You know what I mean, don't you? Please, forgive me. You and me, we're jolly undead outcasts, aren't we? Oh,
So,
brilliant. A second chance.
He does become a merchant.
Wonderful.
If you
I had
forgive
a
him.
feeling you'd understand. I did. But, if I were in your shoes... Ooh. Who knows what I'd have done. But now we're friends again. Eh?
Yeah, he's gonna have to work on that laugh if he wants to be everybody's friend. But somehow I don't think he wants to be anybody's friend. I think he's just... And he's kind of stupid evil, you know? It's like... I suppose, yeah, he could loot your corpse or whatever. But beyond that, what's really the purpose, you know? Yet another Black Knight Halberd, too. My lord! What happened there? Okay. Well, fortunately we weren't too far from the bonfire there. That was interesting. I don't think that's ever happened before. Okay. Oh. And of course this one's right up here, isn't he? I feel like I'm not doing as much damage to these ones. Where... Of course, they're all the way down there. I don't even remember him being there. I don't like the bone doggos. As you can see, they're not quite dogs. Some sort of abomination for certain. But dogs, I don't know if they're really dogs. Okay, and he actually blocks the path to how you get the silver serpent ring. So let's go ahead and drop, I do believe we can just drop one there, and that'll tell us that we're standing over the path. Oof, very narrowly though. And the covetous silver ring actually gives you bonus souls, so that's really helpful for endgame grinding. Unlike the gold ring, that actually does stack with the symbol of avarice as well. So you get that bonus. See every temptation in the world to jump across that gap. Somehow I think that that's not wise, because I see what's waiting for me over there. Let's see what happens if we drop yet another prism stone. Okay, there is something down there, but it does look quite a ways down. So let's actually clear this way here. And that looks like the safest bet. Now I know there's a bonfire around here somewhere. Try to track that down if I can to show you guys where it's at. Really don't want to get ahead of yourself down here either. Because these guys can and will sneak up on you. Okay, so that's the way back up. Let's take a look down. This might lead us over to that treasure over that way. Okay. Great big lava pit down there. Alright. We have the effigy shield. What does the effigy shield do? Okay. Nothing really amazing. Gravelord Nito is not a particularly difficult boss. I don't believe I had much trouble with him last time. He does summon some underlings to fight for him. So you gotta watch out for that, of course, but otherwise, he's a big softie. Okay, let's keep pushing down. More white titanite. Let's get him isolated. That is really unfortunate. Couldn't, seems a little unfair that he keeps chomping even when you're still getting back up. And I think the bonfire was right around the corner from there too, so that's doubly unfortunate. But, we'll just keep pressing on and hope we don't lose everything. Which, in my experience, seems pretty easy to do. Proceeding as if nothing has changed. Because I find that the more you tense up, that's when you start making mistakes. You just gotta roll with the punches. Okay. No, that's not that way. So snake back around this bend. Just keep proceeding down to where we lost our things. And fortunately, we were smart enough to bait him back a little bit, which means that we could retrieve our stuff without too much issue. Take a moment to let some of that stamina come back. Oh boy. That looked absolutely devastating. I know that there's another bonfire around here somewhere. Did I miss it? Or did it miss me? Definitely around here somewhere. Where is this bonfire? Nope, not up that way. Must be further down, and if it's not, I do believe there's at least one more bonfire. Just before Nito. So it's not a terrible loss if I don't find one, but you know, of course, bonfires always help. Ah, here it is. Alright. And of course, we just gotta watch out, because now they've respawned. Hopefully, not a big issue. Whoop! Gotta pay attention. Jeez. Alright, and let's see, proceed down into the cave some more. I'm just gonna hop down there, because I can hear some bone doggos, and they are closing in on my location. And now we are looking at the world trees, or whatever they are. I don't believe there's anything down here but a pleasant photo opportunity. Yeah, nothing down this way. But, check out that view, huh? Hate that. Alright, and now my personal favorite area of the underground. Skeleton babies coming up. Lord knows what happened to them. They must have just died young. Sort of easy to laugh at the absurdity of, skeleton babies until you think about it. Maybe they were real babies at some point. That's sad. And that's what I get for not paying attention. Alright. Got him that time. Be too careful. Well, thanks for that. Cheerio, my friends. Alright. So now we start seeing more pinwheels. And also baby skeletons. Now, I don't know if there's a finite number of those skeletons. I just know that every time I stop and fight them all, I get swarmed. It's not that I get overwhelmed per se. I do manage to keep my own, but they just never seem to stop coming. Oh, look at that. We actually have a little shortcut there, and I didn't notice it. Let's down this way, shall we? Ah, weight titanite slab. Not particularly useful for my needs, but... Ah! It's like those little pygmy things in... the second Mummy movie. Creepy little bastards. Alright. And I do believe we're ready to go take on Nito, Lord of the Undead. As I've said before, he's not a particularly difficult boss. I do believe I did manage to beat him somewhat easily last time. I tried a different method that didn't actually work for me. But I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to drop one down. Ever badass Gravelord Nito. So we're actually going to let him come to us. Supposedly, if you just stay here and stay disguised, he will come alone, so to speak, instead of bringing his horde of buddies. But as long as you've got the blessed weapons, shouldn't really have too much trouble with his underlings anyway. Oh, it actually seems to be working this time. Thought I could get the timing right on that one. But no. He's not a particularly challenging boss. You just gotta watch out for some of his well-telegraphed moves. Make sure you have some Estus flasks to spare when you get down here. That might be my undoing. Wait long enough. Just give him the time he needs. Impromptu though it may be, that's a pretty easy boss fight against Gravelord Nito. And with that, I'm going to take a brief, less than 2-minute intermission. I'll be right back. Alright, I appreciate your patience. I'm back. So now we're ready to go take on the final of the 4 major bosses leading up to Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. This is where we go on to fight the 4 kings. As I stated previously, I tend to prefer to save them until last. Gives you an opportunity to save up whatever you might need. Head back to Firelink Shrine, and maybe even kindle it a couple times. Okay, so now we can take that off. Let's go ahead and put on the Mask of the Child. And so for the next boss fight, you absolutely have to wear the Covenant of Artorias. It's just one of those things. You can't fight the boss without it, so it's absolutely required. I also recommend bringing some black pine resin. It will make this fight just a little bit easier. Okay. And okay, we're ready to go on and fight. Mask of the Child gives you a bonus to stamina production, so that's pretty sweet. I do believe that most of the time I've come down here has been private. I cut the stream so I could come down here to farm, but I will show just a few important things, and the farming method itself. I'm not going to do any farming, but I'll show you how. It's pretty easy, it's pretty straightforward. You already have to come down here anyway. So there's really 2 ways down there. Once you've opened the floodgates, so to speak, this is the fastest and probably safest way. There's an elevator, 2 elevators you can take actually, but this will let you down here. So these are the guys you want to farm. There's maybe 7 or so down here. Each of them has a pretty good chance of dropping Titanite chunks, and a very low chance of dropping Titanite slabs. So you're going to want to come down here for those. It's the only place to actually farm the slabs. And they're pretty easy to beat. For the most part, they'll leave their backs exposed. Sometimes they cheat just a little bit. Watch out for that red claw hand, though. That's, it'll steal your humanity. Don't want that. unfortunate that the lock-on did not occur sooner. Okay. Sort of bait this one out. There is a ghost hiding in that wall there. Watch out for that then. There's another one. Yep, there it is. And so if you're having trouble with the backstabbing mechanic, the only real advice I can give is to make sure you have your shield down a good half second or so before you actually try to execute the attack. I find that if I'm just a little too much turtle for the turtle club, it won't proc every single time. It seems to proc pretty reliably when I let the shield down. Just a little pro tip. Just the tip. Drink it as this flask, just in case. Don't really need it, but can't hurt, can it? Okay, and make sure you have that abyss walking ring when you drop down into this pit, or you will die, and you will lose your souls. Okay, let's put on a pine resin, and go to town. Now he's pretty slow, but he doesn't really need to be fast. He's got backup coming. Doesn't really hit that much either. The thing to watch out for is his power move when he grabs you up. It's pretty well telegraphed, but it can, it seems to grab me every time no matter what I do anyway. So you do want to kill them just as quickly as you possibly can muster. Despite his name, and this is kind of funny, there can be more than 4 of him. Oh, here's that move I was talking about. It's one of them anyway. If you take too long fighting him, you will have more than 4 forms come after you. But I've gotten pretty good at his rhythm. Just keep him from taking too long on you. Alright, and just for good measure, let's pop an Estus Flask. Again, not really necessary. But when you've got 20 of them, no point in letting them go straight. He's just taking his 8-year-old time. There he goes. Now that move is another one I just can't seem to miss. Every time he does it, I seem to get hit by it. platform ain't playing no games, is he? Alright. And that's 4 kings. Like the others, he's pretty easy to beat. You just gotta know how to handle him. The only one that's occasionally challenging is arguably the most gimmicky of them all. The, you know, the bed of chaos. And Seat the Scaleless can be a little rough if you don't know your way around him. But no worries. Okay. So now we could either go straight up to the final boss fight, or we could take our time and explore a little bit. So we're gonna head to Anor Londo, and we're gonna track down the Painted World of Aramis. For multiple reasons. For starters, it can get you a lot of souls for leveling up. Now you can go here as early as you want. It's actually designed to be traveled to at any time, really. But you know, it's also sort of a grinding area, so I like to wait. Now keep in mind when you come here, you are stuck here until you finish with the main content of it. So. And as I pointed out before, you do want to watch out for these guys. You know, they're not particularly tough, but they are very strong. They just do crazy amounts of damage with their fast attacks too. Or rather, not in any one attack, of course, but if you let them sort of wail on you, they will do a lot of damage very quickly. Oh, totally forgot I could switch to my ninja flip ring. And these guys do have a really good, albeit short-range ring. Sword, rather. Sorry. Relatively low drop rate, so don't expect to get it without some farming. Alright, and we're off to the Painted World of Aramis. watch out for the condition toxic. Don't think I've been fortunate enough to catch toxic here. Although I am quite curious. I've never actually tried to use this after being fully toxic. Okay, so that does actually totally cure the status as well. The description makes it a little, ambiguous. I believe, to be exact, it says that, it will break up toxic buildup. But that it actually cures poison, so that's something to... Damn crow people. Maybe I'm staying a little too long in their little aftermath areas there. Should have bought me some purple moss clumps when I came in. Oh well, nothing to be done about it now. Okay, that is the way down there. Let's take a look. I know that there's some stuff up here. Believe it or not, we're actually caught up to where I left off on the PC version. So, a little ways from here, I will be totally flying blind, which is arguably, not totally flying blind. I have beaten the game back when it first came out, but it's been some time. I can't really say that that would help in any way. But some would say that that's the best way to experience Dark Souls. Totally and completely oblivious to what it holds. I feel like I missed something. Pretty sure I did, actually. Yep, there it is. Now this thing is actually pretty easy to beat. You just gotta know what to do. So he's gonna come crawling towards the player. But he's pretty much stationary once he gets here. So you are safe to just pick him off. Oh, that's unfortunate. Not a terrible view, I suppose. Now, provided you actually want to continue and do this whole side area the proper way, you don't really need this particular tip. But if you do want to do a shortcut and just get right through to the end, you can come up here and then press up and R2 as quickly as possible, and for some reason he just stands right the hell up. Obviously it's a glitch. I don't think he's supposed to stand on the bridge, but you can now get behind him and go straight to the boss of this area. Now personally, I recommend not taking the easy way out. There's plenty of content here, there's plenty of stuff to find. You know. Ooh, excuse me. Up and up we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. I ever figured out how to get that particular piece of treasure. But, nope, that's unfortunate. Okay. We came out none the worse for wear, I suppose. Okay, so that phalanx there is actually the key to soul farming. what you want to do is come back with the Symbol of Avarice on and the Silver Covetous Serpent Ring, and some kind of AoE fire spell. And you can actually just wipe out the whole lot of them just as quickly as you possibly can, and you'll net pretty decent chunk of souls. Now, I don't have any AoE fire spells at the moment, but you know, once I've actually cleared the content, I can always come back with that. Frustrating. Ha! Unfortunate. And of course, I totally forgot to kindle that bonfire before I went ahead and died. Let's go ahead and rectify that, shall we? And so yeah, the phalanx isn't nearly as hard as I make it out to be, with my little pitiful death there. But nor are these guys, for that matter. Let's go ahead and just pretend that didn't happen, shall we? Okay. So we can actually go around this way. See what we might see. There's a way down into the well there. Okay, get us a ring of sacrifice from there. Careful not to let these guys push you around, you know? They can gang up on you. By themselves, they're usually not that big a deal. But in groups, they can be quite daunting. Alright, now this is where things can get a little tricky. And I actually totally forgot to equip a silver spear. But it looks like it doesn't matter, because for as difficult as they can be, they're also kind of dumb. So we'll just take these guys out one at a time. Or just be very careful not to let them sneak up on you. Like that, when for some reason, even though you have locked on, your character decides to turn around. Forgot about that little guy. Just keep that shield up. And that's the well right there. Okay, I do believe I missed the staircase. Ah, there it is. Just one of many ways up. Watch out for toxic. Oh, well, look at that. Fire surge. No idea what that does. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh boy. My old friend was waiting for me. Okay. Let's go ahead and switch back. For now. Best to just avoid the toxin altogether, wouldn't you say? I've sworn he'd have been dead. Aha! Okay. Velka. Now what interesting fate befell Mr. Velka? If any. Perhaps he's still alive over in the bell tower back in London Parish. But, whoever was wearing that outfit is very dead. to next? Thought that this was proper path to take, but I appear to have been mistaken. So let's take a look this way. Perhaps I am meant to fall in a pit? I don't think so, though. Ah, okay. Now that I can see down in there. No, I don't believe I am. Okay. So where then? Ah, well, I do see at least one path forward. And it's also where I was invaded last time. Let's take a look. There we are. King Jeremiah. And patience is a virtue, my friends. So we're supplied with Jeremiah's weapon there. And still no clear way forward yet. Take a look. Acid surge, huh? Okay. Maybe we'll head back down underground. See what I missed down there. I'm assuming that that's where I made a wrong turn. Let's find out. Huh. Interesting glitch there. Okay, so what am I missing? Ah, okay. There we are. How about we recuperate? I do believe there's a boss fight coming up. Alright, and I'll just take one brief moment to check something real quick. Hang on with me for just a moment. Just gonna take a look and see. Okay. So I do believe that I need to proceed the way I am. Always gotta be prepared to watch your back. So we have a giant Iron Knight here. Just like we farmed Titanite shards off of before, I think. No big deal at all. And he still provides large Titanite shards. Look at that. Works for me. Let's keep on moving.
Who art thou? One of us thou art not. If thou hast misstepped into this world, plunge down from the plank and hurry home. If thou seekest I, thine desires shall be requited not.
Okay, well,
Thou must returneth whence thou came. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind, but thou dost not belong. I beg of thee, plunge down from the plank.
I think I'm here for you.
Thou must return this land. I expected as much from thee. Why dost thee hurry toward thine death?
Oof. She's an interesting boss fight. Ah! Gonna start bleeding soon. Let's see if I can equip some red blood moss. Well, not quite in time. blocking against something that I can't even see. Ah!
But why? What seeketh thee?
Alright, and with that, we're done with the Painted World of Aramis, I do believe. As I said, it is a good source for soul farming. Perhaps I'll come back and do some of that. I'm not particularly worried about my level as it stands. I do believe that I've reached a pretty good point for endgame. But yeah, with that, now I'm gonna head back in. Oh, and just like that, I believe that's my time. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. If you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed the content, feel free to share as well. Helps a lot. As soon as we get over to the Painted World of Aramis again, that is. Alright. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.